the vitamin that 90% of people are deficient in. Are you getting enough sunshine? Shockingly, up to 90% of some populations are deficient in vitamin D, a critical nutrient for bone health, immunity, and overall well-being. Let's uncover why this deficiency is so common and how you can protect yourself. Vitamin D deficiency is a widespread health issue, affecting people of all ages and backgrounds. It's not just a minor concern, it's a global problem that can have serious consequences for your health. Understanding the scope of the problem is the first step in taking preventative action. According to a comprehensive review published in the Journal of the American Osteopathic Association in 2018, approximately 1 billion people worldwide have insufficient vitamin D levels. A 2011 study in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism by Holick et al. Found that prevalence rates can climb as high as 70–100% in vulnerable populations, such as the elderly or those with minimal sun exposure. In some cases, like nursing home residents or individuals in northern latitudes, rates edge toward that 90% mark. Similarly, a 2016 study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition highlighted deficiency rates exceeding 90% in parts of the Middle East, where despite abundant sunlight, people were found deficient in vitamin D. This is because of the practice of full-body clothing that obstruct skin exposure to UVB rays, which is the primary trigger for vitamin D synthesis. Our bodies are designed to produce vitamin D naturally when our skin is exposed to sunlight. However, modern lifestyles often prevent us from getting enough sun exposure. This is especially true for those who work indoors, live in urban areas, or spend a lot of time in front of screens. People living in higher latitudes face additional challenges, as the sun's rays are weaker during certain times of the year. This makes it difficult to produce enough vitamin D naturally. For those with darker skin, higher melanin levels act as a natural sunscreen, requiring longer sun exposure to produce adequate vitamin D. Dietary sources of vitamin D are also limited. Few foods naturally contain significant amounts of vitamin D, making it difficult to get enough through diet alone. Without supplements or intentional sun exposure, hitting the recommended daily intake becomes a challenge. Vitamin D is essential for calcium absorption, making it a cornerstone of bone health. Low levels can lead to osteoporosis in adults, increasing the risk of fractures and falls. In children, vitamin D deficiency can cause rickets, a condition that affects bone development. Beyond bone health, research links insufficient vitamin D to a weakened immune system. This can increase your susceptibility to infections and illnesses. Studies have also shown a connection between low vitamin D levels and an increased risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart disease. Vitamin D deficiency can also affect your mental health. Studies have linked low vitamin D levels to mood disorders such as depression. Ensuring adequate vitamin D levels can help support your overall well-being, both physically and mentally. Certain groups are more vulnerable to vitamin D deficiency than others. The elderly are particularly at risk, as their skin produces less vitamin D with age. This is why studies of nursing home populations often show near 90% deficiency rates. People with darker skin tones are also at higher risk, as their skin requires more sun exposure to produce adequate vitamin D. Those living far from the equator, where sunlight is weaker, also face increased odds of deficiency. Additionally, clothing customs that cover most of the body can limit sun exposure and increase the risk of deficiency. Individuals with certain medical conditions, such as Crohn's disease or celiac disease, may also have difficulty absorbing vitamin D from food. This can increase their risk of deficiency. It's important to be aware of these risk factors and take steps to protect your health. Fortunately, there are several simple steps you can take to boost your vitamin D levels and protect your health. One of the easiest ways is to get regular sun exposure. Aim for 15 to 20 minutes of sun exposure each day without sunscreen when the sun is at its peak. You can also increase your intake of vitamin D-rich foods. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel are excellent sources of vitamin D. Egg yolks and fortified foods, such as milk and cereal, can also help boost your levels. Consider taking a vitamin D supplement, especially during the winter months or if you have risk factors for deficiency. The recommended daily intake for most adults is 600–800 IU, but your doctor may recommend a higher dose depending on your individual needs. Regular vitamin D testing is essential for monitoring your levels and ensuring you're getting enough of this important nutrient. A simple blood test can determine your vitamin D levels and help your doctor identify any deficiencies. If you're at risk for vitamin D deficiency, talk to your doctor about getting tested. This is especially important for the elderly, people with darker skin tones, and those with certain medical conditions. Early detection and treatment can help prevent serious health consequences. There are many misconceptions about vitamin D that can prevent people from taking the necessary steps to protect their health. One common myth is that you can get enough vitamin D from diet alone. While some foods contain vitamin D, it's difficult to get enough through diet alone, especially if you don't eat fatty fish regularly. Another myth is that you don't need to worry about vitamin D if you live in a sunny climate. While sun exposure is important, many factors can limit your ability to produce vitamin D, including skin pigmentation, clothing customs, and indoor lifestyles. It's also a myth that vitamin D supplements are unnecessary. While sun exposure and diet are important, supplements can be a convenient and effective way to boost your vitamin D levels, especially during the winter months or if you have risk factors for deficiency. Addressing the vitamin D deficiency crisis requires a collective effort. We need to raise awareness about the importance of vitamin D and encourage people to take proactive steps to protect their health. This includes promoting healthy lifestyle choices, such as regular sun exposure and a balanced diet. Please share this vital information with your loved ones to help them protect their health too. If you like the video, please subscribe our channel.